This recording is going to show you how to start a Jamboard while you are in a Google Meet. So I'm here now in one of my Google Meets, and if I come down over to the bottom right, you'll see the three dots. I'll click on them, and then I can come up here to Whiteboard, Open a Jam. Jamboard is Google's software that works very similarly to Smart Notebook. Google has their own hardware, which is called a Jamboard, and it is the same type of idea, an interactive whiteboard like the smart boards that we have in our schools. Um, they have the software to use for it, which is their Jamboards, and it has come in handy during our virtual settings so that you can use it as an interactive type whiteboard on the screen during a meeting, during a virtual meet, so that students can write and interact and do different type things on the board in a virtual setting. So we're going to go here to Whiteboard, Open a Jam, and it gives me a couple of options. There's some Jamboards that I've already used that I could pick as files if you had one that you wanted to reuse, or if you had already created one ahead of time. Or we can go here to start a new whiteboard or choose from Drive. I am going to go to start a new whiteboard. And what it does is it creates a jam and it puts it in the chat. So if I go here now into my chat, you'll see that a link has been posted into the chat. And you would also tell your students at this point to go to their chat on their screens and click on the link to open a new tab to put them in the Jamboard that you've created. Now, depending on what you want to do, if you as the teacher are just going to be drawing or writing or typing on here, you can leave the settings as they are. But if it's something that you want the students to write on or the students to interact with in some way, you would have to change the settings up here where it says share, come down to change the link. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to switch it from viewer to editor so that the students would then be able to interact with the board also. Now I can come over to my toolbar over here. I'm gonna pick a text box and I'm gonna write vanilla, and then I'm gonna do another text box. I'll put over here, ooh, if I can spell it, chocolate. And then I could ask my students, okay, select a post-it note, put your name on it, and then move it to, oops, cancel it. Move your note to which it is that you prefer. So there's a number of different things you can do with this. We posted some other ideas within the agenda for this week as different things that other teachers have used to do an SEL type warm-up activity with your students using Jamboard, or other ways that you can interact with the students in a virtual setting like this within Jamboard. There's also drawing features on here. You can do the pen, you can change colors and styles and that kind of thing if you wanted the students to circle something or to interact with it. However you wanted them to interact with it, they can insert pictures. Um, there's a laser. You can point to different things that you want to highlight as you're talking and showing the students the board. So there's all kinds of fun stuff you do. It can get saved into your Google Drive. It will save there automatically, just like a Google Doc or a Google Slides file would. If you want to go into Jamboard and just create one ahead of time that you would have ready to roll during your meet, you would go to your address bar and you can just type in jamboard.google.com, and you'll see that it looks very similar to other things like Google Docs and Slides and Sheets, the other Google Suite items. And then within your Meet, you could just pick from the drive to add your Jamboard into the Meet chat for your students to use if you had one set up ahead of time for them to work with. So that is a quick, brief kind of introduction on how to start and use a Jamboard within your Google Meet for interactivity, SEL type lessons or ideas or whatever it is you're trying to do. Please feel free to stop in if you have other questions or need other assistance with trying to get a Jamboard going for you. Thanks, everybody.